Warning, the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Kanika literally fades away into a water bottle.
Hey, that's her on the motherfucking shelf.
Kanika, what were you just saying?
And Kanika transformed into 5-6 different men. Is she a shapeshifter?
I told y'all the whole footage is the snake eating Kanika.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Random News, and I want to welcome you to episode 18 of the Darkside of J4K. And if you're a fan of this series, then you know these episodes get pretty dark. And tonight will be no different, because tonight we're going into the dark world of Debbie James. So spark up now, because this is going to be a wild one. Now, I found this page early on while researching the Kanika case. What I didn't understand was how crazy this woman actually was. You see, she considers herself a targeted individual. And I know you're asking the question, well, who's targeting her? Well, them, they, and Kanika Jenkins, as you'll see as the video progresses.
I want to show you something really interesting. Recorder's off.
Now, to fully help you understand what you're dealing with, I got to show you what Debbie was doing before the Kanika case.
And I'm picking her ass up off the damn cheap-ass speaker.
I know what you're thinking. What the fuck is this all about? Well, Debbie likes to use a technique called white noise, where she likes to pick up the sounds of the CIA, the FBI, or anybody else that might be out to get her. Check it out.
Time to turn those stinking asses off.
Yeah, that's definitely the laugh of a mad woman. You see, Debbie will come online every day, claiming that she found these recordings of all these people trying to kill her. But she never shows any proof. Check it out.
These people, these idiots, have been trying to program me for 7 to 8 years. This is ridiculous.
Trust, we're nowhere near the ridiculous part of this story yet.
And they've been getting it from the drugs from the CIA and the FBI. Obviously, they can't come and do their own work.
No, we can clearly tell this woman's off of her medication.
Now they're programming me to be a terrorist so I can go blow myself up. Really nice people. No nice family too.
Trust me, this story gets wilder.
They went and drugged me up with that stuff. They went and they attached a bomb to me, I guess, and I haven't seen the pictures, but I've heard about them.
Yeah, she heard about them from the voices in her head.
They did this when I went to the hospital. And they went and they called CNN, told them I was there, and they went and they aired it throughout the world.
And if all this doesn't sound crazy enough for you, listen to this shit.
Now, back on Jones and on River, they were pumping stuff up in Jones. It was up into my house. It was ether.
Yeah, she wants you to believe that somebody was pumping ether into her air vents. Sounds pretty crazy.
As you can see here, this vent stays closed, but look what's happening.
What's happening is condensation, because she got the air conditioner on at full blast with the vent closed.
All that stuff is getting caught in the water that they've been pumping through. So, I do what any smart person would do. Take a sponge and collect it. And this sponge here is going in for testing.
She's the one that needs to be brought in for testing, not the sponge. And I'm sure you'll agree with me when you hear what she says next.
So I want you to see this is recorder 2. And there is an audio 69. And on that audio is they raped a child.
Now, she's claiming she got audio of her family doing this, yet she hasn't taken it to the cops.
And Karima made it incestuous, 2 brothers.
It's absolutely insane how this Kanika case attracts all these weirdos.
But also known as Stanky Snatch. That woman hasn't bathed since before we left Portland, and I've been here since May.
Man, these goofies are fucking disgusting.
But they're making kiddie porn and incestuous kiddie porn. And that's why they've been stealing my phones. They've stolen 6 of them so far. They've been putting it up on the internet on my phone. So, I'll be aware.
Now, once your girl was done taking a shit and lying to everybody, she went home and thought it was the crazy
As you can see, I got 2 of those. I'm also going to have to get a plate for the door. And it holds the door in place. They're putting cameras underneath the door.
The drugs got this bitch tripping.
They were in the room. Last night they were in the room. The night before last. And I actually got the video, so they can't say it's just the audio being manipulated.
Yeah, don't expect her to show you that video, because it doesn't exist.
They were hiding underneath the bed. They got in the room, they were hiding underneath the bed, so I'm gonna have to do a room check before I lock down everything.
More like somebody needs to do a wellness check on this woman before she gets somebody in trouble. Because the next video she posted about her family was pretty fucking crazy.
Was taken on the day of the burglary. The burglary report was filed. Here's the handprint of the child.
Now this goofy is trying to convince her audience that somebody in her family broke into her apartment and murdered somebody's kid.
Here's where it was. This was in my mother's bedroom. There's the handprint right there. This is where the bed was. That's why it's darker below.
You ever notice how these goofies can't show you a clear picture of anything when it comes to the Kanika case?
They pulled this down from the ceiling. They left in such a haste that they left the whole ceiling exposed, and it was found. And I took a picture of it.
So not only did they murder a kid in her apartment, but they tore a ceiling down as well? What a goofy.
There is another stain on the jacket. Doesn't appear to be blood, though. It's right there.
Conveniently, the murderer had left his jacket behind.
And this came from this picture.
Yeah, you're gonna love this shit.
Right here's the jacket. And in the jacket, you can see it coming right through the jacket. The jacket was wrapped around it. There's the weapon. And this came from this. This is a towel holder. And this picture was taken the day of the burglary. This is what I walked home to.
More like she just walked in on her dirty ass apartment. Because at this point, we all know no child was killed.
That's what I walked in on. And that was the child murder. Those pictures of the hand and the blood up in the ceiling came from that day, same day. And this jacket was washed because I didn't know it was full of blood.
She just told you she took a picture of this jacket wrapped around a bloody murder weapon, yet she didn't know the jacket was full of blood. What a dumbass.
Being nobody ever came for it, I'm going to drop it off to the lawyers, let her deal with it as she sees fit, and that'll be that.
And not only did she blame her family for trying to kill her kid, she also blamed them for setting her up to be raped.
This is audio 133. And this audio is about how they're telling people I'm a terrorist so they can come rape me.
And just to show how absolutely insane she is, I'm going to play some of her so-called evidence. Yeah, that's all that happened. And she wants you to believe that that was a whole conversation of somebody setting her up to be raped. And the craziest part, it's the next day, she actually went to the doctor to get tested.
I went to the doctor's today. Actually, the air. And you know what happens here in Portland when you go in for a rape? Let me show you.
Wait till you get a load of this shit.
Paranoid.
She was seen for being paranoid and having growing pain. Nowhere did it say she was being seen for rape. But that wouldn't stop her from coming up with these stupid ass stories.
So, I'm calling a lawyer tomorrow. And after I called the doctor.
I just put this video here as a placeholder because the goofy turned the camera off.
So, let the lawsuits begin. My liver is tanked.
I mean, no doubt from all years of alcohol abuse.
Gonna be some very interesting lawsuits. This is all premeditated murder.
Yeah, she never filed any lawsuits. What she did was bring her crazy to the goofy sector of the Kanika Jenkins community, where goofies like her would fit right in. Check it out.
Okay, this is audio 1617 of recorder 1.
And this is her introduction to the Kanika community. And you better spark up now, because this shit's about to get crazy.
Okay, in the audio, they're talking about the setup of Hillary Clinton, that video they turned over to the FBI that was done in Rosemont.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton's involved in this one. And remember, she's getting all this info from Static playing on the radio.
John, who's also known as Dan Pasella, his real name is Dan Pasella, was contacting Clinton for a contract for my murder for Hillary Clinton for $100,000.
She done turned John from Jedediah's cameraman into a straight-up hitman. What a goofy.
Matt, they plan on killing. That was talked about. J Money, they planned his murder. They were planning his murder. Ty Rowland, they talked about using his name. Irene was to be killed.
And if you're wondering by who, it's them and they, like always.
Kanika, or Kanika Jenkins, as you know her, she's not killed. She was not killed. She was kidnapped and trafficked.
No, she wasn't.
The woman in the fridge, the freezer in the Rosemont hotel that they found dead, her name is Lakeisha Knox. And her mother, she was adopted, and they said that her mother stopped getting payments for her adoption and didn't want her anymore. And she was killed for $10,000, which was paid to them by Mo Valley and Straight Drop.
She really just said Straight Drop. And if they don't let you know she's insane, I don't know what does.
My brother, they were planning a car crash to kill him. My mother, they were planning to H-bomb her, which is a heroin fentanyl bomb combination. Tony, which is my mother's husband, they planned on shooting him. My niece Aubrey, they planned on kidnapping. They talked about Lanifa going overseas.
See what I mean? She's batshit crazy.
The child from California, where the mother was murdered by the Hearn family and kidnapped, she's actually dead. They, as they put it, chopped her up in little pieces in the kitchen at the Rosemont Hotel.
And since she's just making this shit up off the top of her head, it goes to show you how sick her mind really is.
Also, the bodies, they went to a large pit outside Chicago. They dumped about 1,000 bodies.
So now the Crown Plaza has a random pit they can just throw random bodies into. And if you think that's crazy, listen to this bullshit.
I have a lot of different videos from YouTube on Kanika Jenkins. But how do I prove I'm the victim and not her? And here it is, right here.
You see, you guys had it wrong this whole time. Nobody was out to kill Kanika. They were always out just to kill Debbie. Listen to this shit.
This is the one talking about me from Portland and not being dead. And here's Kanika Jenkins herself the day before this all happened.
Yeah, now she wants you to believe that Kanika Jenkins was the person that set this all up. What a goofy.
Admitting it was all a scam, implicating her mother even. So, if you think I'm gonna feel sorry for a woman who's sitting at a kill party, my kill party no more or less, you're wrong.
So all the hotel footage you guys been watching for years was really just a party to kill Debbie, all orchestrated by Kanika Jenkins. And I would like to say that was the craziest thing she says, but we ain't even got to it yet. Check it out.
People, I got a word for you. I just figured out this whole movie damn thing they've been doing.
And by they, she means Rosemont and Kanika Jenkins.
They've been trying to get me to sign some release forms, which is bullshit. I found out that this is a so-called movie that was going on in Chicago. Now, I have a couple of questions. What in the world did Kanika Jenkins ever do in her life, this 19-year-old girl that's a gangster, ever do in her life that was worth making a movie over?
And since this is just a delusion in her head, she should be asking herself that question.
When I find your little porn films online, I will be notifying you.
And now she wants you to believe that Kanika has a porno company. What a goofy.
And something you better understand. That contract is not valid. One, because it was done under fraud. Second, you most likely signed it when you were inebriated or high.
And she's literally trying to make you believe that Kanika Jenkins is doing all of this.
They're feeding me a line of bullshit about a biography. I put the other thing up. No, there's no biography. Zero. So they're trying to get me to sign it off because they drugged and raped me and they have no release for the film.
And now she wants you to believe Kanika made her sign a contract and had her drugged and raped for a porno movie. Okay.
For the porno that they put out. And they've been selling. So when I find the other tapes that are like that, movies, people are going to be notified. And you'll have a class action lawsuit.
And now she's going to sue the deceased. I thought Lord footage was bad with the stories, but this woman takes the cake. And you're about to see just how much in this one. Okay, finished audio 16 and 17. And says, 16, I'm going to kill that bitch and hang it on Hillary Clinton. That was Karima. Man, Hillary Clinton must have really had it out for Kanika and her friends, right?
Irene, she doesn't like it. She's straight up hood. These are reasons why she was going to kill everybody. Kanika thinks her shit doesn't stink. Her mother's the same way. In the audio, she says, I used to fuck Teresa Martin's son, and I didn't like him. I put him in jail.
And don't forget, she getting all this from white noise on her radio.
And Karima said that I'm going to be killed by a gang member.
It's so amazing how all these goofies love to put themselves into this Kanika case.
And then she said, Killa is going to kill Debbie.
And now she turned Killa Brown into an assassin. What a fucking goofy.
And Killa said, he was in Portland, I'm going to get some of the women in there to poison her.
I guess we figured out who was putting the ether in the air vents.
Very interesting thing happened in audio 16. Killa got attacked and raped and reprogrammed using shock therapy. And by shock therapy, I mean electroshock therapy.
More like Debbie needs electroshock therapy. Cause Killa Brown just over on her page, cloud chasing as usual.
And then Brittany broke into my room and came back to Karima and said her phone's not there. She was going to videotape the rape.
Does anybody else find it weird that this woman fantasizes about being raped all the time?
And Karima said Jenna is fully ready for organ harvesting. Now listen to this because this is very important. Very interesting shit. Karima, our family cannot sustain itself without fresh meat. It's cannibalism.
Bet you guys weren't expecting cannibals to show up in this episode, were you?
Killa was saved by a Salvation Army worker. Then Karima tells Jenny they're going to organ harvest her. Jenna, lay down and stay still while I take your organs out. And then Dan and Karima said, reap the benefits of our work.
Man, this woman is a nut job. And joining the Kanika community did not help her mental state at all. Because the more videos she watched, the crazier she got.
It's called Kanika Jenkins Live Talk. Won't believe what we found. And this is by Leave No Witness.
Yeah, of course it is. And be able to look out for his video, because I'm going to expose that clown pretty soon.
And there's some interesting stuff. One, they didn't kill anybody because the real victim's in Portland. Surprise!
Because you can't forget, Debbie's the victim here, not Kanika.
Second thing is this was all a money scam. That's what it was. And I told you before, Kanika Jenkins isn't dead.
And she's not going to show you any proof. But I got a question. What the fuck is that noise in the background? This shit is weird.
Like I said, all a scam, all for money. Kanika Jenkins is in the video. And I told you before, I have audio of her. She's with Jedediah Brown.
And now she's bringing Jedediah Brown into this. What a goofy.
And if you watch the videotape from the hotel, you'll pick up that Jedediah's at the hotel. Before Kanika died. Supposedly died.
No, that's just some bullshit that Leave No Witness put out to manipulate dumbasses like Debbie over here.
So, and it's also in there that they planned on giving me a bone disease. So that was not their intent to kill me at that point.
So Jedediah Brown and Kanika was at the hotel planning to give Debbie a bone disease somehow. Somebody really needs to come and check this woman into a mental hospital.
This is what all this chip and censoring stuff and all this, bzzz thing going on. I have actually where they opened my leg.
Just don't expect to see that footage whatsoever.
These people planned on cleaning up. They ain't cleaning up on anything. Nothing. Not my family, nobody.
And now you see why the doctors diagnosed her as being paranoid. And you'll see just how much. Because she started posting 30-second videos that made no sense at all. And here's a quick compilation of a few of them.
Liked videos. And a lot of them were about Kanika Jenkins. And guess what's all missing from my liked videos? All the Kanika Jenkins. Now there was almost 3,000 of them. And I haven't even gone through them all yet. This is what they're doing on my phone. They're erasing things.
I'm telling you, one of these days, one of these goofies are going to explain to us who they are.
So, let me explain something to you about Kanika Jenkins' case. Kanika Jenkins' case, Miss Martin, her mother, said that she died in the hospital.
No, she didn't.
Which means she is not the woman found in the freezer.
There she goes with the delusions again.
Actually, her name is Sherry, but I guess she won't be fighting that hard for Sherry.
This bitch really just said Sherry. But trust me, this crazy train ain't over yet.
The guy who was doing the filming in Chicago for the Kanika Jenkins thing, there's the information on the vehicle. He followed me to Olympia.
And since she was nowhere near Chicago, how did anybody follow her anywhere?
He was the guy in Chicago that was running around the hotel in the red jacket.
And wait till you hear this shit.
And YouTube is taking down a lot of my videos. And lines have been drawn. And with the police, the FBI, the government, everybody, especially the people in this country.
Sounds like your girl's big mad.
They've kept person that's been raping me, drugging me, beating me, and tried to kill me. They took it all down off YouTube.
Because even they know she's batshit crazy.
Oh, shit. How they're trying to hide things. Done. Lines have been drawn. Lawsuits are going to be filed.
And this next one, she just decided to go straight goofy.
These idiots seem to think it's my job to go find her. Let me tell you what the plan is here. They already have her.
And there they go again.
They want me to take the shitfall for this crap. They plan on bringing her out after I'm dead. That's what's going on here.
I mean, this woman really does need to be under some type of supervision at all times.
And her is Kanika Jenkins. They got a movie deal in the works here. That's what's going on.
Yeah, look out for that film on Netflix.
And she signed over a percentage of that movie to these idiots. So, the police are sitting there, the government is so worried about where Kanika Jenkins is, then you go find her. Not my job.
Well, with the amount of Kanika videos she puts out, you would think this was her job. And trust, she didn't stop. Check it out.
I'm gonna tie everything up.
More like she's gonna talk some more bullshit.
Irene was used. Irene had a birthday coming up. She rented a hotel room. She's gonna have a party with her friends. Okay, no biggie there.
What does she mean, no biggie? Didn't she just claim that that party was a setup to get her killed?
Sitting at a kill party? My kill party, no more or less.
See what I mean? Just let the goofies talk and they'll fuck their own story up.
What we do know is that Kanika did show up at that party, and that was at Doubletree.
No, it wasn't.
Correct? But we have no footage of that.
Because you can't have footage of shit that you just made up off the top of your head.
So where did the crime take place? The crime took place over at the Doubletree, where we have no footage. Now, let's move it over to the Crown Plaza. Crown Plaza was supposedly where the reenactment took place. And what is the reenactment of? Murder.
And your girl must have been listening to Candace Starr if she thinks that was a reenactment.
And it's quite interesting. There was a body that Teresa Martin claimed was her daughter's, which Kanika Jenkins doesn't exist with Teresa Martin. There is no Kanika Jenkins. There are no Kanika Martins in her family. No Kanika Coleman. No Kanika anything.
So now there's no Kanika at all. Didn't she just tell you Kanika was setting her up to be in a porn video? What a goofy.
One big scam made up for what? Well, Teresa Martin is a scam artist. You go do a background check on her, you find that out.
And you know you can't get through one of these videos without these goofies blaming Teresa Martin for something.
Teresa Martin shows up at the outside of the door. J Money, her brother's outside the door. Then the detective comes up behind Teresa Martin. Then Teresa Martin and the detective leave. And the dead person, supposedly, walks out the door. Straight out the back door.
Yeah, now there's zombies running around the Crown Plaza. This woman is crazy.
And there ain't no stumbling and walking all over the place or anything else. Straight line, beeline right for the back door of the hotel. And that was caught on footage from the Crown Plaza.
Now you can go watch all 36 hours of that footage, and you won't see one dead body running out the back door.
So what was this all about? Outside the fact of Teresa Martin needing an organ.
Teresa Martin didn't need an organ. These goofies just like to come on here and lie through their teeth.
I know it's from the ambulance driver's audio.
And now she's just making up audio that doesn't exist at all.
It said, controlled virus released. Daniel's still not in custody. Well, who's Daniels? When you do a background check on Teresa Martin, it's one of her family members.
I mean, at this point, Teresa Martin really does need to bring a lawsuit up against most of these goofies.
These people are so far off course. It isn't funny. That was a terrorist attack that happened there.
And now she's making Teresa's family out to be terrorists. This shit is fucking crazy.
This whole Kanika thing, it's just one big scam. You got a scam laid right on top of a terrorist attack.
And since there was no terrorist attack tonight at the Crown Plaza, we need to find out what drugs this woman really needs to be on.
See, I already know all this. I told everybody from the beginning.
And I'm sure most of those people just called her a whole goofy and kept that shit moving.
Nobody listened. Oh, and by the way, in Ty's audio, that Debbie James, that's me. From Portland, from me, that's me. Barricaded herself in the room, that was me.
And now she was at the Crown Plaza and barricaded herself in a room. This woman is just as crazy as Lord footage.
I'm going now to take my fat ass out of this country and make a ton of fucking money.
Looks like your girl got big plans, but she's gonna tell you just how she plans on making that Kanika cash in this last clip.
I'm reading a book with all this audio I got. I started going through the audio, and I caught an audio about Kanika Jenkins.
How'd you catch an audio on Kanika when she just said Kanika didn't exist?
This is how far back it was pre-planned. Probably more, I'm going backwards. It's 6/13/17. So this is almost 3 months in advance before she was, went missing.
And now she's going back to Kanika went missing. I guess saying Kanika didn't exist made her views go down.
And she is missing. They did not kill her. And I also got that in the audio. But being everybody complains that the audio, they don't like the audio, they want it cleaned up. Well, I'm going to write a book and you can find out everything you need to know.
And just like Gina McGill and Candace Starr, your girl's about to put out a whole book full of bullshit. And it might be hard for her to sell it, since in her very last Kanika video she
said... About the Kanika Jenkins case, I'm going to prove to you that she died on the 6th. And which is something I've been telling everybody. I have the audio from the people who planned this crap.
And crap is the perfect way to describe everything the woman's been pushing, because her story changes whether she's taking her meds or not. But at this point, my brain's fried from all the crazy. So that's where I'm going to end this episode. I hope you guys have a good time. I hope you like, share, and subscribe. And if you like the content, hit the Cash App for your boy. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
And Killa said, he was in Portland, I'm going to get some of the women in there to poison her. Also, the bodies, they went to a large pit outside Chicago. They dumped about 1,000 bodies.
They want me to take the shitfall for this crap. They plan on bringing her out after I'm dead.